Hey, Clark, can you hear me?
I can, Norm. Can't
Good.
see you, but I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I hit the, you should be able to see me. I don't know why. Just hit start video. There we go.
There goes. It just took a second.
Yeah, I got it.
There you go.
All right. How you doing today?
Good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I know. Hello, Carol. It's Carol.
Hi. Hi.
Is that Carol Smith?
Yes, it is.
Well, Carol, glad to have you join us. Are you on your phone? You called in?
No, I can see you.
Okay.
My daughter was here for Christmas, so she got me on Zoom.
Great. Well, it's really good to hear your voice. Are
I
you
know
gonna
it's been a while.
are you gonna let us are you gonna turn your video on, or are you gonna go
I thought it was on. I don't know how to work it. I'm sorry.
are you using a computer or an iPad or your phone or what?
Computer.
Okay, so in the lower left-hand side of the screen, lower left bottom, you should see two buttons. One says mute, and one says stop video or start video. You just click on that video button at the bottom left-hand corner.
I'll wait for somebody to show me. I'm not good on the computer. That's why I have not come to these meetings.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to help you. If you have a mouse or if you're using your finger to move your cursor around, it should be at the bottom left-hand side of your screen.
I see a bunch of stuff over there. I don't want to do that, though. I'll just say as is for now. I'll
Okay.
work it out next time.
It's okay. No worries. We're just glad to have you here. That's great.
Yeah, finally.
And I'm going to put your last name in there too, so everybody knows for sure who you are. So we have Norm Lane on. Norm's on. You probably can see
Carol,
him
how you
too.
doing? You doing all right, Carol?
Yeah, I'm great.
All
I
right.
finally got on after a year almost.
Yep. Well, that's all good.
Wasn't for my daughter, I'd still not be on, so.
Okay, I'm just going to try something here real quick to share my screen to see if it's all working right. So just bear with me
Okay.
for a second. And you guys tell me if you can see the Rotary Club of Lincoln virtual meeting.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. Looks like it's all working okay. They have an extra slide in there, it looks like. Okay. All right. So it's nice when it works. Here comes Joanne Hilton.
James, Joanne, and Mike.
Hey. Hi, Clark. I just texted you.
You did.
Yeah, I said, oh, I'm waiting to get in. Are you around? And you are.
Yeah, I was just I was testing the slides real quick. So sorry.
That's all right. No problem. I just want to make sure we're okay for everybody.
Yep.
Hi, Norm.
Hey, Joanne, how you doing?
Okie dokie.
Good to hear
I
your
think.
voice.
Thank you. Good.
I want to see you though, too.
Okay. I'm working on it.
There you
Here we go. Hi.
Yeah.
There she is.
Hey, that looks like an orange shirt, Clark. Don't tell me.
No, it's just bad color. Just
Oh,
bad
bad
color.
color.
I thought
Good for
it
you.
was the Texas Longhorn shirt.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yeah, it's more like Syracuse.
Well, I'm glad to,
Just poor color.
I'm glad it's
So-
not a Giants shirt.
So Carol Smith joined us today.
Ah, hey, Carol.
Hey,
She's being
Hi there.
shy though. She's being shy though. She's gonna try the video the next time, but we're just glad to have her here.
Yeah, welcome.
So it's all good. And here comes Josh Graves. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Stan Nader.
Good.
Hey guys, I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
All right. And here comes
We'll be here.
Here comes Mr. Wittich.
Ah. Hi, Stan.
Hello, Stan.
Hello, Joanne.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Ah, you're a member of the Messy Desk Club like me.
Oh, it's my way of organizing.
That's right. Me too. I think a neat desk is a sign of a sick mind.
You can find things a lot sooner.
Hey, Bill, welcome. How are
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi,
Very
Bill.
good.
Hi,
Hi.
Bill. How you doing?
Doing fine. Absolutely. How are
Good.
you
Glad
all
to hear.
doing?
Fine. How's your lovely wife, Ann?
She's fine. She's in the kitchen right now cooking, so that's normal for her.
Lucky you.
Yes, exactly.
Hey,
Yep.
Bill, I'm running a Zoom meeting. Are you gonna want to share your screen with any slides or anything? Or are you just gonna talk or what?
I'm just going to talk. You're just going to listen to me today. That's right.
Okay, no worries. Just wanted to double check because I
Sure thing.
didn't have anything that had been sent to me. So I just wanted to make sure, because if you wanted to share something on your screen, I can certainly allow that if you'd like.
Nope, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, good enough.
My audio is okay. You can hear me fine?
We hear you beautifully.
Okay, good. Good.
Huh? No, just kidding.
That's you. Oh,
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Joanne. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Joe.
Hey,
thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for the notes you sent me with your Zoom information and all that.
Well, obviously you got it, huh?
Mhm. Sure
Hey,
did.
and Chris, I just checked with Bill if he had any slides to share or anything, but he's just gonna entertain us you know.
Okay,
with his
And he-
wonderful speaking talent.
Just like the old days, right?
That's right.
yes.
Oh.
All right.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Joanne. Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hi.
This is fun to be in my own district. Last week I was in Florida, I was in Canada, I was in Africa doing Zooms.
Wow, in Africa.
Sure, it sure is nice not to be on an airplane to do this, though. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're not traveling.
I'm not traveling at all. Nope.
Mm.
I'm doing a lot of webinars for corporations, but I'm not doing any traveling at all.
That's
And-
nice.
And the
Maybe you can-
webinars work out really well because they're about an hour long with slides,
Yeah,
but it's not the same as being anywhere. You all know that.
right. Hey, well, Bill.
Oh, there.
How you doing?
Upright and breathing. And at 82, that's an accomplishment.
Youngster.
That's right. How many folks are in the club these days? What are we looking at for membership?
We have 46 currently
Good, fantastic.
in our club. We're down, we were as high as 55 last year, but we unfortunately had a couple pass away, and few people moved out of the area. So we're down a little bit, but we've got about 5 new members that we're pretty hot on right now. So
Good, good.
yep.
Any young professionals in the group yet?
Yeah. We've got we do have some young professionals. We've got a guy from the William Jessup University Athletic Department. They're
Okay.
actually going to do a corporate membership for the athletic department from William Jessup. And yeah, he's probably around 35 to 40, something like that.
Just a kid, right?
Just a kid. Yep.
Hi, Claire.
Hi there.
Hey, Claire, the
Hey,
top
Claire.
of your head looks wonderful.
Yeah.
I know I've got to get out of here. I was waiting to get on.
It's
Yeah,
all right.
see-
Your
my little pillow
your
thing.
ceiling's quite clean.
That's right.
The top of your head, Bill, looks wonderful too.
Yes, right, exactly. My wife's been doing my hair cutting, so she just takes the clippers and just buzzes it completely. She says that's the easiest way to do it.
Sure.
Me too.
Alan, hello.
Hello. I
Can't see you, but we can. Oh, there you are.
There he is.
There he is.
Bill will usually have about around 20 plus or minus will be on the Zoom.
Which is very good because some of the clubs that have 40 and 50 people get 10 on Zoom. So that's great.
Yeah.
Not bad for our age group.
That's right.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Josh. How are you doing? How's the kids?
Good
Good.
job.
I just got done running. I had to go change.
Oh, we're glad you did. We wouldn't want to smell you anymore.
No, I'm telling you. The kids are doing great. They're on school right now. Homeschool is going awesome. Ava is way ahead of the class, and Dylan's doing super well too.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Karen, how are you doing?
I'm doing a little bit better.
A little bit better?
I'm going to a specialist tomorrow, so we'll see.
Good.
What they say.
What kind of specialist?
It's called a physical doctor.
Yeah.
I think it's basically to give me exercise. I've been having some severe back problems.
Mm.
And so I think that they will probably figure out what I have to do to make it better.
Good. Hey, welcome, Jason Price. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Hi, Jason.
Brian, you're
Welcome.
all dressed up.
Yeah, I'm in the office today.
Oh,
About time.
Yeah, I don't typically I don't typically dress like this when I'm working from home.
Hi, Frema.
Hello.
And Howie's here too.
Hey, Howie.
Howdy, everybody. How you doing?
Hey,
Good.
Howie.
Graciela, hello.
Hi there.
Yeah, it's good to
Frema
see all
and
these
Chris.
smiling faces.
I need to talk to you urgently, okay, after the meeting.
Okay, me?
Frema and Chris, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Graciela, I have some stuff to send you, but I'm waiting on some of my people.
Okay, no
And
problem.
Same thing with Joanne. And then
Yeah.
Me
I need to
too.
know from you two ladies when you might be available tomorrow or Monday to see if we can get an appointment with Lori to talk to her.
Okay.
Yep.
So just,
How's the big day I get vaccinated?
yeah, me too. Me too. Woo.
Really?
Lindsay's parents are getting vaccinated right now. They're in line.
Oh, good.
Jan and I just got appointments to get vaccinated next Wednesday in Sacramento at the Expo. Cal Expo's, you can actually get an appointment there. So
Is it just a drive-through kind of thing?
I don't know if it's a drive-through or not. I'm not sure. Somebody told Janet that they had appointments available and we went on there and yeah, it was really a piece of cake.
Oh, good.
In fact,
Good.
Janet was going to have one on February 9th at a Safeway. But we got her in, but we got in for next Wednesday. So that's much quicker, obviously.
How'd you get the appointments?
Bill, I could send you the link.
Okay.
Can you send it?
I'll put
Clark?
it on the chat here so everybody can have it.
Thank you.
Okay.
We got
I had
ours
several
yesterday.
friends Get shots at the grounds
you?
too, and I think you still might be able to go at the fairgrounds.
No, they don't
No
have any.
appointments. No
Not at the
appointments.
ground. They
Maybe
may
tomorrow, maybe.
add some, but there's none now.
There's none.
Yeah, they only do them a week in advance there. So like tomorrow, they'll probably post appointments perhaps for next week, but you got to be there quick because they're gone in a heartbeat.
We got ours up at Beal.
Clark, how early do you think?
This,
Get
you
on.
mean,
Yeah, to get an appointment.
you can get in there within a week. There were appointments available and 2 hours ago on next Wednesday. They were available Thursday and Friday.
In Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta let some people in here. Oh, we're up to 21
All
participants.
right.
Plus,
Nice.
Dan, it's good to see you.
All right, we'll let the last couple folks come in and then we'll get started.
Hey, Daryl.
Any military people
Hey.
that have TRICARE for life can get it up at Beal. We got ours in one day.
yeah.
That was a good idea. We got ours at UC Davis.
Hi,
All
Linda.
right.
Okay, I
Go ahead,
just, let's see, is this working?
Welcome, Barbara.
Hi
Yeah.
there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm all set.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Clark, would you mind putting up the flag for us? And Stan,
Will
would you
do.
mind
Will do.
leading us in the pledge when he gets it up?
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
Hand
Nice.
over heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
United States of
and
America.
to the republic
The republic
Which
which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
liberty and justice.
for all. Oh, fantastic. Great. Thank you very much. And let's see here. Carol, would you mind leading us in the four-way test, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is it the truth?
Is it
Is it
Is it the truth?
Is it fair for all concerned?
Fair, all concerned.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be fun?
Have fun.
That's right. Have fun. All right. Thank you, Carol and Stan. I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right. I did see Alan. Alan, do you have a poem for us today?
Yes, I do.
Oh, great. Thank you.
The poem that I'm going to read is entitled My World. I live in a land of fantasies and dreams and play with the creations of my mind. My world is a circus in which I dance on life's stage and gather applause. I make funny faces, I play silly games, try to be touched and touched in return. I laugh with the people laughing at me and cry for the people who cannot laugh. My eyes meet those of others, both young and old, blending their worlds with mine. Touching their hearts and challenging their minds, I create images with which they play. With them I share a world of promise and dreams, the world of my heart and my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. Very nice. All right. Let's see. Any visiting Rotarians today? I know Bill is visiting Rotarian, and he'll be introduced a little bit later. Bill. Okay. Any other visiting Rotarians? I didn't see any on the list. Okay. How about guests? Well, let me ask this one. Oh, go ahead.
I would like to introduce Jason Price. Richard was supposed to be here, but I think he had an appointment to go to. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jason Price. He is the newly elected Board of Trustees for Western Placer Unified School District. And he's been very involved with the chamber and a few other things. So welcome, Jason.
Welcome, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Glad to have Jason aboard. He's also a member of the Economic Development Committee. So know him from there and Happy to have him.
Oh, very nice.
like
Yeah,
your-
thanks.
I
Thanks
like
for
your
joining
wood
us,
wall.
Jason.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool, huh?
All right. And is by any chance, is Janet on, Janet Seiko? No, she was going to join us today, and so maybe something came up for her. So she reached out via email, and Bill Tobin put me in touch with her she wants to check out the club and see if, my guess is she's a newer Lincoln resident and is interested in checking out the club. So hopefully she'll be with us within the next couple of weeks. All right, let's see. Any birthdays? No birthdays? All right.
Wait, somebody's not telling the truth.
Somebody hasn't had their birthday yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just 2 days away.
Hey, Carol.
I think you're a tattletale.
I know.
Okay.
That's my job.
So everyone should be clear on the concept. If your birthday falls on a non-Rotary meeting day, you pick one of the Rotary meetings to announce it.
I thought it was the one after, not before. I'll have to look at the bylaws.
Look at the bylaws, right? Yeah.
It seems,
All right.
seems that I get to number 80 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
You're still a
Wow.
youngster today, so.
Yeah, yeah. You don't look a day over 79, Darrell.
Actually, he's pretty spry for that. I don't even see him as that
Yeah.
age at all.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that, that he was basically knocking on the door of 80 now.
We
So-
call it the 8th decade.
There you go. Okay, nice. Well,
Hey.
happy birthday coming up, Darrell.
Well, you're pushing your luck when you anticipate 2 days ahead. So I was going to delay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Funny.
Okay. So, are you one of those people that refuses to buy green bananas?
They may never ripen to eat them.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
That was a good one.
All right. Any anniversaries? Nope, no anniversaries. Okay. And the same concept there. If your anniversary falls on an off Rotary day, got to pick one of the Rotary meetings to bring it up. All right. Anyone have anything they want to share with the group while we're all together?
Welcome Mary Ann Barker back. She's online.
Is she on?
I'm
Yes, I just
here.
hear her. Hi, Mary Ann.
Welcome back.
Hey, Marianne.
Wow,
Hi.
We
I was
still
fortunate
haven't,
enough-
can't see you though.
Well,
Last
Can you
week
see
you
me
said
now?
you'd get it.
I'll let
Well,
out her
I'm-
secret as to why.
I'm in the
I ran
bathroom.
TMI.
Turn the sound off. Yeah, who was it? Chris told us about that when all the kids started the distance learning. There were a couple of kids, the younger kids, who went into the bathroom not thinking, took their computer with them, and yeah, I'm sure that was an interesting class. I had the fortune to run into Marianne last week when I was down by the over in Lincoln and ran into her. It was the first time I'd seen her in probably a year. She looks great, but I think who laughed at that? That was
I did.
no, I saw her. She looked
Wild
great.
Bill.
All right, I'm sorry.
We're finding you for that.
Okay.
And what she revealed to me was that she wasn't putting makeup on since she didn't have to go in public as much, and she wears a mask. So maybe that's why she's on. Got the video canceled out today, but
Well,
she looked great.
I've been there before. There's been times I couldn't use my picture at all.
Well,
During
I
this
don't know.
COVID thing.
By the way, those
I
of you
will-
who came in late, also, it's really nice to have Carol Smith join us today.
Oh, yeah, Carol.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Carol's on here as well. So we haven't seen her in a while, and we're glad I guess her daughter helped her with some Zoom stuff, and here she is.
Good,
Fantastic.
good,
Can't see her though.
Nah, she's being shy today. Maybe next week.
All right. Anything
That's
else
okay.
anyone want to share?
Yeah, I'm announcing about the Women's Club barbecue dinner, ribs, beans, macaroni and cheese, something else, and dessert. And it's $16 on the 11th of February. To drive through at the Women's Club.
16th?
$16, the 11th of February.
11th of February. Okay.
Which is a Thursday.
Right. Good food.
But the money has to be in by the 5th.
Right. And you can give it to, you can call the chamber office and do it through there, or you can call Harry Garland. You can get tickets of her, or you can give me a check and I can make sure it gets to the right place.
Okay, sounds good. Now, thanks for that update, Claire. Anyone else have anything they want to share?
Yeah, we've been, well, the Downtown Lincoln Association and the Chamber, we're collaborating with the county, and we've got some money that we're going to be, is available to give out to businesses. So it's a very short deadline. If you know any business owners that might be interested, please have them give me a shout. We're trying to get this out as quickly as we can and disperse that money so that we can help save some folks. So the county has done a different job this time with it. They're pushing it down to the local folks to maintain and decide who will qualify and what, et cetera, so that we're, you know, a little closer to them. So Jason or anybody that knows, or Jerry, you guys, whoever knows some folks that might qualify, let me know.
Joanne,
And-
what's the criteria to qualify? Is there, you can tell us?
You have to have been in business since last year, so March last year, and have to have been impacted by COVID in some ways. Pretty, it's a mortgage/rent relief based on that. So it'll give you some bucks towards your mortgage or your rent.
Okay.
Nice. Thanks for that information,
Yeah,
Joanne.
and I have another little bit of kind of
Sure.
not great news, but Karen Hernandez, who many of you know, who's headed up Redirect Nuevo Camino. I've been involved with that program for many years, and Rotary's helped them. And she's a remarkable woman. She has COVID. So she's sequestered at home. She says, you know, she's doing okay. She's got some breathing problems, a little bit of fever, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, you know, she's on the younger side. Karen's probably, she's pushing 50. But so keep her in your thoughts.
Is she and Juan separated?
Yeah, they're divorced.
Too bad.
He's back in Chicago.
Is he?
Yeah, with his family or his, you know, his folks. So thank you for that. And
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Anyone doing anything fun lately?
we did get our shots. That was fun. Kidding.
Were those that wanted the information on the Sacramento Cal Expo? I put it on chat. So if you open up chat at the bottom of your screen, there's a link there at the bottom of that message you can click on. So if you can't find it, just let me know.
All right, thanks, Clark. Okay. If nothing else, we'll move on to a couple of committee updates. Richard, was Richard on the call? No, he wasn't. That's right. That's right. So anyone have any
I'll get it from you.
World Community Services? No. Kimberly, I don't see Kimberly on either. Anyone have anything from Community Services? No. Chris, anything from Youth?
I'm here, but I have nothing as far as anything new with youth.
Okay.
Is being the head of the Western Placer Unified School District a finable offense or congratulatory?
It's not finable at all. And it's not being the head of Western Placer, it's just being the president of the board.
So different. What else? Okay.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations again on that. Karen, any updates on the fundraiser?
Okay.
Hear me now?
Yes, yep.
Okay, we're working on the auction. We're trying to get all the members to get their a picture of their item and their description into the people who've called you or contacted you, or get your money in if you wanted somebody else to buy something. We want those in by tomorrow, latest on Sunday, because we need to start getting them, get our things advertised by the end of next week. So we're beginning to come down to crunch time. So several of you know who are out there hunting things and are hunting for information from people. So just please support us in getting some items to sell, and then support us to get people to come to and sign up for the auction, and then come spend your money.
And the auction date is?
And the auction date's February 26th.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Karen, for that update. Let's see, Clark, anything on membership?
I am having a membership committee meeting at 4 o'clock. It's going to be a real quick one today, probably only 15 or 20 minutes. We do have the membership handbook completely updated. The membership application's been updated to kind of show the virtual stuff. And we have about 5 folks in the pipeline right now. So keep your fingers crossed, and we'll, I'm just can't wait to listen to Bill, because he said, don't recruit them, you attract them. And I took a shower and shaved and tried to be as attractive as possible today, since I'm the membership chair. So we'll see how it goes.
It looks good. Looks good on you, Clark. All right. Claire, anything from your end?
No, it's
on
too early to
socials?
set up a social.
Yeah.
We don't have
Okay.
a fifth, but I'm wondering if anybody wants to have anything like in between, not on the 5th Thursday, but some creative social to, virtual social. I'm okay to try and set something up like on a weekend or whatever, or should we just wait and see what happens in the next month or two? I'm open for whatever.
Okay.
Give me
So
ideas offline if you want to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, anyone comes up with something that they think we should be trying or doing, definitely reach out to Claire. All right, thank you. Anyone else have any updates? No. All right. Why don't we move into Chris?
Yes.
Would you mind? Let's go ahead and move into the speaker time frame.
All right.
You wouldn't mind introducing Bill for us?
It is my pleasure to introduce a fellow Rotarian from the Laguna Sunrise Club. Bill has spoken many times to our club before, and he's here, as Brian said, or no, Clark said, he is telling us stop recruiting and start attracting. So here is Bill Wittich.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm going to change my talk a little bit today, because I'm going to talk today about how to bring in young professionals to your organization. I might say, are you facing an aging membership issue? Well, I think every club is to some extent. We're not getting as many young folks as we should be getting in. Now, I have been speaking recently to Florida and Canada and a lot of places, to clubs. They're all facing the same issues. But most Rotary Club leaders are asking themselves 2 questions. The questions are, what happened and what's next? In other words, why aren't we bringing in young professionals? Now, when I talk about young, I'm talking about 20, 30, and 40-year-olds, because most of us are over that age. We're probably in our 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere in there, or as we heard today, 80, something like that. So Rotary membership is, in fact, declining nationally, and many Rotary clubs are struggling to attract people 25 to 40. That's their number that they use. We're having a hard time, RI says, with that. Now, here's a few quotes I picked up over the last couple of weeks. One, what's going to happen in 10 years at our club? This was a club in Florida. They said, I think we're all trudging along trying to get by. Now, your club happens to have very good membership, but probably not as many young professionals as you'd like to attract. Another quote I got was, we're only having limited success attracting younger members. That was a Canadian club. Another club, this one in Oregon, said their families are busy. It's hard to get young members with children. Rotary membership has dropped. If you take a look at the numbers, 5 years ago was 386,000 in the US, 386,000. Today we're at 316,000. So we're not necessarily losing our members, we're failing to attract those young professionals. Another quote I had was, we're all struggling with membership. We need to get more creative to get younger members. And I think you'll agree with me that bringing young professionals in can bring something very exciting to the club, new perspective, new expertise, new energy. But do you understand who these emerging people are and what they need? Now, you've got some in your club already, young professionals, and you've probably been talking with them. But will your club be able to attract more of them? Do you know how to engage with them and show them the benefits of membership? Key word, folks, benefits. What do I get when I join Rotary? Too often we think about what they give instead of, talking to them about what the benefits of being a Rotarian is. That would be, by the way, an excellent meeting sometime just to have, what are the benefits of being a Rotarian? Because that's a good sales pitch. Now, young professionals, 20s, 30s, 40s, could make great Rotary members, of course, but to bring them into our club, we need to understand them. Let's do a little bit of that today. They do want to make a difference in their communities. Number one, they do. In fact, 77% of young professionals are already involved in a charity or a cause. They've got kids in school, they're volunteering at the school. They're in their church or temple or synagogue, they're volunteering there. They're working for the senior center, they're working for the food bank. They're working lots of places. But they're also very conscious of finances. And many have canceled an association membership. I'm talking about the chamber. I'm talking about law and medical organizations. I'm talking about nursing groups where the cost of that association has led to them pulling out. But they're very interested in being community leaders. Over 61% of young professionals say that being a leader is very important to them. That's an essential group for us in Rotary to attract. Now, understanding young professionals means understanding how changes in society has affected them. Not just the political changes, but changes in everything that we've done over the last, let's say, 5 years or 10 years. Technology, for example, has given them the opportunity to customize nearly everything in their lives. And Rotary has been a little slow at picking up on technology, certainly social media, those kinds of things. Now, when young professionals invest time and money into something, it's with organizations that do good in the world. That's our Rotary. Young professionals are eager. They're motivated to change their communities, and they hope to change quickly and to move themselves along their own career path. Remember, young professionals are very career driven. They want to build a solid network, and they want to learn from mentors. They want to learn from people with clout and experience. You and I know that Rotary has always been the movers and shakers in any town. You were talking about that before we started today. You were talking about the chamber. You're talking about the things going on in your town. And attracting new members, I think, Clark will tell you, is very critical to our clubs. Of course it is. And these young professionals are the lifeblood of our club, bringing in fresh ideas and insights and keeping our club alive and very relevant, which yours is, of course. Now, don't go too crazy at first. If the average age of your club is over 60, begin by trying to attract members in their 30s and 40s, maybe even 50s, and work from there. Start slow with this whole young professional recruiting and attracting routine. You know, to me, in turn, young professionals seek a sense of purpose and belonging. And this is exactly what your club can give them. Stress the opportunity to the young professionals for career mentoring and set up mentoring programs pairing members with those just beginning in their careers. I'm talking about kids that are in college. They would have been Rotaractors and even Rotaractors down. So maybe sometimes you want to look at those young professionals in their 20s as potential Rotarians. Rotary clubs aren't the only groups, though, these days struggling to fill the ranks with younger members. Gallup poll finds that the percentage of Americans who report belonging to a church today is at an all-time low, averaging 50% in 2018. And that's among the young professionals. Or traditional social clubs, groups, business associations, even the chamber. I know that from my experience on having been on the board in the Elk Grove Chamber. We're experiencing a decline in attendance and membership among the young professionals more than among the older generations. It's not necessarily because people want to network less or that they have less of a social conscience. Not at all. It's because people have less time to spare, money to spend, are relocating more often, and may not know anything at all about Rotary. How many times have I, you know, I'm a Starbucks guy. I still live in Starbucks a lot. And even though we can't sit there, I still end up going and standing outside and talking to some of the folks. Many are young professionals. And I'll ask them, what do you know about Rotary? And I did this to a woman the other day, and she said, is that like one of those Kiwanis Lions, one of those kind of groups? She had no idea what Rotary was. And that's exactly what I find with young professionals. They don't know Rotary. So as we try to attract them into our clubs, we need to do a little education about who we are and what we are. You know, the differences between what your older members want, most of us, and what the younger members want is vastly different. Here's a quote. Our spirit of community service is no different from that of the older generations. We just have different methods, said a 25-year-old gentleman from Oregon recently. Or another woman said, we're results driven. We move quickly. Some might think too quickly. Another quote. This one happens to be a gentleman who was in his 30s. We want to feel that our work has purpose when we participate in something. That certainly is Rotary, we know. And he said, and we get frustrated when our ideas aren't considered just because they're unfamiliar. Ooh. Very few clubs are making much effort at recruiting young members. Yours is different. I understand that. But many clubs just are not doing it at all. When I go visit them in the past, they were all people my age or older. Much less they don't want to understand what these younger generations want and why they're so vastly different from all of us. Different in their values and expectations, difference in the way that they communicate and spend their time. What worked in the past for Rotary doesn't necessarily work for the younger generations. That's scary to most of us. Many of our older generations are leaving Rotary. I heard you mention that today, either because they retire, they leave their careers, they move away, they get an RV and they're going to travel, or they pass away. Clubs are, in most cases, getting smaller and membership is getting older. No doubt about that. And few clubs have or are developing plans to bring in young members. It appears that clubs that fail to engage the younger members could continue to age and could eventually become obsolete. Won't happen to yours, but we know in our district we've lost a handful of clubs recently, and some have even had to join together to stay alive and well. You know, the younger generation is much more closely tied to social media and the internet, where the service clubs don't necessarily seem especially adept. Bet you can remember a time when everybody you knew was involved in a community organization like Rotary or Lions or Kiwanis, but today's generation isn't jumping on board nearly as fast. So what's keeping young professionals from joining Rotary? Well, the president of the Waterbury, Connecticut Rotary Club told me that he believes that more young people would join Rotary if they knew more about it. So that's part of our education, I guess. I think your older members are loyal to Rotary, and they view membership as an opportunity to build beneficial relationships and make a difference in their community. They want to make the world a better place, and they believe Rotary can do that. Young professionals, though, are looking for networking and mentorship, but have concerns about time, money, and family commitments. Something that most of us older folks aren't really as concerned about. We have more time, we have hopefully some money, and we certainly are taking care of our family. But some younger generations see Rotary as outdated and irrelevant. Well, that's a scary part. You know, the trappings of a typical club meeting. Ooh, ringing a bell, tossing happy bucks into the kitty, and being fined doesn't appeal to many in this generation. I know that bothers you to hear, of course. Here's a quote: Rotary clubs must demonstrate that they're doing more than just having lunch. They must highlight their many community projects. I have learned that even at Starbucks, when I talk to somebody about Rotary, I never talk about Rotary. I talk about what we're doing at the food bank, what we're doing at the senior center, what we're doing. And they all go, whoa, you're doing that all right here in my town where I live? Yes. See, the younger professionals don't respond to the recruiting efforts of the past. And that's what we're beginning to learn. Many folks believe that the younger professionals are not joiners, that they have little interest in Rotary. The truth is, they will join if invited, and if invited correctly. But you can't just hand out an application and expect it to be filled out. That may have worked with most of us, okay? When I came to the town that I live in, Elk Grove, when I came here, I went to a meeting and I found out about Rotary, and by the next day I was a member. So very different today. Young professionals are joiners as long as they're provided with a sense of belonging, given adequate opportunities to contribute, and their participation is valued. Now find out what they're interested in and put them in charge of things that match their likes. Not just put them on a committee, but talk to them about what they want to work on. Make sure you give them the lead role if you can and when you can, and give them a real opportunity to make a difference. Young generations want networking opportunities, but they enjoy age-specific networking opportunities, which is why it really helps to grow a group that has a group of people the same age as those young professionals are. More than networking opportunities, even, young professionals are looking for career building opportunities from their membership. Now, you may not feel you're a membership organization in a business sense, but we are. You know that your classification, what you did, even if you're retired, what you did before, you're an attorney, you're a medical doctor, you're a real estate person, that's on your badge even in many cases. So we are a business organization, and we are needing to be a young person's organization as well as the rest of us. Now you think about Paul Harris, who started Rotary 1905. How old was Paul? He was 35 years old. His three buddies were 36, 38, and 40. So what was Rotary? It was a young person's organization at that time, of course. Now, many clubs feel they cannot get the younger members to take on leadership roles. But the fact is that younger generations are willing to lead, but their expectations are different from the older club members. Talking about myself, I guess, right now. They're willing to lead in situations where there is a no-nonsense meeting agenda intended for making decisions. Now, what they consider nonsense meeting agendas are sometimes exactly what we're doing in our meetings. We don't see them that way, of course. Now, they enjoy specific one-time projects. They don't want to be on something for life. They want to take something on. Now, your older members, most of us, are likely to volunteer their services year after year simply because it's the right thing to do. Younger members won't volunteer, lead, or even join unless it's the right opportunity in their mind to pursue this. They don't want to join the club and then work their way up the ranks as your older members did and your club might expect. Ooh. They want to come in and do something that will benefit them. Then that's it for a while. They'll work on a project and probably not repeat it. That's typical of the younger professionals. But they do want a leading role in the club's leadership ranks. They are not as likely to take an interest in tradition and will rebel against doing things the way they've always been done. The challenge for many of us is diversifying the way we do club business to maintain our members, but also to attract young generations. What do young professionals like to see? One, different community service opportunities. You do that. You have lots of things that they be interested in. And two, they want more mentoring opportunities. We haven't done very, very good at that, at putting our young professionals with older professionals. They want an increase in electronically delivered information. We're starting to get there with our Facebook page and those kinds of things. And they want better networking opportunities. I keep saying that word networking because that's what I hear from so many of the young professionals. They want to mix and mingle with professionals. The only way to find out what your young members want is to ask them. And they'll appreciate your concern and provide you with the feedback vital to your club's growth and success. After all, in the coming years, they'll likely be the masterminds running our clubs. For sure. Now, the expense of Rotary can be a big turnoff. Be transparent about the breakdown of dues to the club, the district, and Rotary International, and the costs such as meals. Lower your expenses by rethinking your venue or meal when you can, instead of an expensive lunch. Yours is not. Yours is a very good lunch, but offer a la carte options, or sometimes meet at the local pub, if you will, if you had one there. Years ago, employers used to pay for Rotary memberships. Most businesses don't pay for that anymore. That used to be the way that you were in Rotary. You know, the Rotary Club of Booth Bay Harbor, back in the East Coast, created a membership level to make joining more accessible for those under the age of 35. They called it the Rule of 35, and it reduced dues by more than 50% for those under the age of 35. Just a hint. Provide flexible attendance. And maybe you do this already. Instead of requiring your members to attend makeups, encourage them to attend a meeting online or count their participation in a service activity. Because today with Zoom, we're all meeting online. I realize that. Here's a quote from a young gentleman. He said, "They tell us that we are inundated with requests to do things, and their time can sometimes get spread pretty thin. They don't have as much time as some of the retired folks in the club. They're more willing to make a donation or contribute online or meet via social networks than show up for a meeting or show up for a Zoom meeting even. We're not old-fashioned. I don't think we are. We need to talk about ourselves as we are, a modern membership organization that creates social change. But some traditions, like singing songs, ringing the bell, reciting the four-way test, are critical things to us, important things to us to start a meeting, may be confusing or unwelcoming to younger guests. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's Rotary. Well, it is, but it needs to attract young professionals. Maybe try playing music in the background as members and guests arrive and socialize, because that socializing before a meeting, which you did very well today, is very nice networking time for sure. All clubs have the flexibility to meet where and when they want. So it's not the same get together week after week. We're guilty of that. We meet exactly the same. We do exactly the same things. And that's sometimes what the young professionals are saying, gee, that's, I don't want to use the word boring, but to them it might be. It's not to most of us. Show prospective members, I guess I'm saying, that you are more than meetings. Tell them about the service projects, the networking, the leadership development, and even the social events. Don't be afraid of social media. It's where your younger professionals live and where they check in every day, if not every hour. In other words, go mobile. Young professionals are more likely to communicate by text message than by phone call or email. And you're probably starting to do that too. But after you've connected with that young professional, stay in touch by text. Everybody texts. You need to too, of course. Perhaps one good thing may come out of the pandemic, weekly meetings being held on Zoom. And believe it or not, that could be a wave of the future. With Zoom, people can be involved without physically taking time to drive and go to a meeting. It's more convenient. I know we don't like it, but for the young professional, it might be every once in a while to do an online meeting. I guess I'm suggesting keep younger members in the loop. Don't waste all that effort attracting new members and letting them drift away for a lack of attention. Make it personal. Acknowledge and celebrate family and personal events like weddings, children coming into families, professional milestones or professional achievements. You did that today during the beginning of the meeting. You talked about anniversaries and birthdays, and maybe even do a little more than that with families and kids and things like that. In other words, I'm suggesting make your club family friendly, considering offering childcare even if you can, and welcoming families, having the kids come to club events and meetings once we get back out of COVID. Connect young professionals with club mentors that match their interest, skills, and professional background. Mentors also benefit. Your older members who are mentors will benefit by staying engaged, honing their leadership skills, and building meaningful connections. In a nutshell, young professionals want personal and professional development out of Rotary. They want advanced technologies to be used, and they want a trusted place where they can in some way contribute. As I close here, let me talk about the Metro Savannah, Georgia Rotary Club that started with a bang a couple of years ago and never looked back. They are careful to add members who maintain their diversity and bring in unique perspectives. Their annual dues is $300. Members stay up to date on Facebook, and they meet for lunch the 1st and 3rd of the month, only twice a month, calling in sandwich orders during their meeting. See, they're trying to cut costs a little bit. Another week, they network at a pub over drinks, a social event, and that invites membership inquiries from others who are in the pub at that time. And at least one meeting a month is a service project. And this particular club had over 12 projects every year going on. This club continues to thrive with more than 60 members, most of them under the age of 40. There are so many ways to draw young professionals into your club, and these things we're mentioning are just scratching the surface. You know, member attraction is a must for any club. You know that. It is not difficult, but you do have to put some effort into it. We know that. You won't regret the time, though, because you'll see your club take on an exciting new life. Now, by now, you're ready to throw something at me, kick me off the air, or maybe talk to me about what I said that you don't like. I'm yours. Any questions? Any thoughts? You're quiet.
Oh, we were all muted.
I muted everybody while you were talking. So I just asked you all to unmute. If you have a question, feel free to unmute and ask Bill questions.
So Bill, this is Chris. If we have an older group, such as we are,
right? Sure.
How do you motivate? What would be the key things to encourage younger members to join us when there's really this separation of our interests compared to their interests? Or
it's a very good question. I think it really comes down to respect for the younger professionals by letting them come in and explain what they do, what they enjoy doing, for community. In other words, instead of telling them, here's what we do so often, we tell them what we do instead of asking them what they want to do. And when I hear from young professionals, it's mostly they ignore me. They don't pay any attention to me. They don't know what I am and who I am. So I think that's, and they'll use the word respect. They don't seem to respect me in this old white person's club, they'll say.
Yep.
I'd like to put Jason a little bit on the spot and see, what do you think of what you just heard, and give us some impressions.
Oh, I'm annoyed for you guys that you have to dumb it down, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think what you're doing is steeped in tradition, and I wish you didn't have to spend a meeting talking about how to get younger people to connect with that. I mean, so, you know, my support to you for that. I think, you know, I would almost not look at this as age brackets as much as look at it as generations, you know, X and Y and Z, and there's quite a bit that's different about each of them. I think it's wise to try and invite families to events, because I think that's kind of lacking in society. And there is a bit of social media fatigue that's starting to set in. So the good news is you guys were so late to adopt it. You might not have to the extent others have. I think that people are kind of starved for that physical sort of, you know, uninterrupted human interaction. That ought to play to your favor. You do tremendous good in the community, and you tell no one, which is the trait of your generation. It's funny, my wife and I both, this is the kind of connections that we're ready for. Our kids are grown and so forth. And when I asked her, I said, hey, I think we should really think about joining. I don't know if the time is right in terms of like how much time we can spend right now, but she was like, what do they do? And, you know, to that, I say, shame on you guys. Like, I know that you're doing things. I see your logo around. I don't necessarily feel the human impact that I know you're making. I'll tell you that inviting the leadership class out for lunch, that's why I'm here. I think it's amazing. And to be frank, watching you guys rib each other as you go around the room, I love it. I love the camaraderie of it. I love that, you know, there's probably been some arguments and some hugs throughout the years. And to sort of get to peek in on that is a lot of fun. I would try and encourage you to do more of that, like, you know, a picnic where it's not around you're hosting a picnic for an event, but rather just a picnic. So folks can show up and maybe you bring in some of these traditions, because the thing about traditions is I think they frighten people until they are a part of them. But once they're on the inside, they start to feel like they are included. Anyway, I'm probably talking too much, so sorry, Joanne. Like
no, I didn't think you were talking too much at all. That was a lot of good information there, Jason.
Oh, no, really good stuff. Thank you, Jason. And we'd love to have you join us.
Yeah.
Bill, if I may jump in, when I listened to you talk, I went back to when I joined Rotary, and I was 38 years old in Rotary. I'm 76 now. I was 38, and we had two different things. One, again, the leaders of the club were much older, just as for the most part we are here to a certain extent. In addition, when I joined, women were not in Rotary at that time. So what I watched was how the club evolved, and we didn't have Zoom, but we had other methods. And the one thing that I noticed was that there was great encouragement to spur us up into leadership, to move us quickly into leadership. We didn't sit there in the audience governed by a board of people who were twice our age, who were leading the club, but they were moving us up into positions. And I joined in 82, and by 89, I was president of the Rotary Club. And others had moved in that direction at the same time. A lot of the things you're saying about clubs we're doing here, we have events where we're inviting children and families to come, and we do a lot of that. One of the things in our community that's a little bit difficult is we don't have, big businesses. And I think in communities with big businesses, there's more chance of others taking the time to get out. And I know I went through a period of being in small towns, and I couldn't continue my Rotary membership because they wouldn't allow me to leave. And I couldn't do that. And I couldn't do it in the evening because that was my home time with my family and other things. So I think we've got to think about that in Lincoln as well. But one thing we're looking at in the future, we've got Brian as our president now, and Brian is still working. Christine will be our president, and she is still working, and we're getting a little bit younger. And then we have Kimberly, and we're getting younger. So we're going in the direction that we should be going in, because it's unfortunately, those of us who are older are either not going to be here in 5 years in one way or another. And so we have to bring in these others, and they're the ones that have to be the future of the club. And I think we are doing it. We're doing it more and more. The irony of this whole thing, we talked about the importance of Zoom and everything. If you look at the members here on the screen, this is Zoom. How many of our members are under 50 years of age today on this Zoom? Do we have any? And this is Zoom. For most of us, Zoom is totally new. We had to learn it. I was tutored by Clark in order to get into this because I had no knowledge of what it was all about. Right. But yet, look who's on the Zoom. Where are the young people who are in our club? They're not on Zoom.
They're working.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of similarities with when I came in because generations are still different. But the big thing that is a commonality that I see in our club and that I saw when I came in was the nurturing of people to take responsibility and to be leaders. And we are doing that. We are moving people up into leadership rather than just persisting and having people 60, 70, and 80 and over as our leaders. And our club is doing that. And I'm very appreciative that we're doing that because it's something I experienced, and that's why I was able to lead and then get into, even got into the district, running of the district and serve on district, the boards because of the leadership that I had attained within my own club. And so I think I'm not saying that we've done it all, but what I'm saying is we've done a lot of it. And part of the fact as you look at the losses of people, when we brought in young people, I think young people just get so involved in what they're doing, they don't have the time to pull out and get in. But we are not as strict in terms of attendance anymore. We're giving people a number of alternative ways of being a part of the club. And in some cases it's working, in other cases it isn't. In other cases they stay for a while and then they disappear. And the question is, maybe this is what the likelihood is of people, whereas those of us who joined back in the 80s, who were the youngsters, we stayed. And we have long periods of involvement in Rotary over the years. And I'm not sure what made that difference as opposed to what made this difference. As I see, I've been in our club since I retired in 2008, and I've seen a number of young groups come in, but they're gone. Very few of them have joined and stayed with us continuously. Some have joined and left and have not come back. Others have joined and left and then come back. And we've had that periodically as we've gone on. And I think I will shut up at this point because I've talked enough.
Let me make a couple of comments because I think what you said and what Jason said is so accurate. What I didn't talk about, particularly listening to Jason, is that there are two generations that we're talking about today when we talk about young professionals. We're talking about the X generation, which Jason fits into, which is doing a very good job in rolling into Rotary fairly successfully, as long as we have the respect that I talked about. The millennials, which are the young group today, we're really having a serious problems with, because they're the ones that a lot of my information really addressed. And they are literally living on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, probably more than Jason is at this point right now. I find that we probably need to separate those two generations, because I'm not having any problem addressing Xers as long as I will show respect and let them move into the group doing a little bit of what they feel is important as well as what we say. Jason, could you respond to that at all?
There's a couple things. I think you have to divide the millennials into young and old, because
good point.
That's a season. And I think the older millennials are a bit entrenched, like you said, in social media. The younger millennials are starting to see the damage of social media and constant connectivity. And I think with that, so you might have to skip, a bracket of that generation. They're also catching a lot of heat for stuff that we as parents kind of, set them up to fail with. The whole everyone gets a trophy thing, and let's not hold them accountable for their behavior, and let's not teach them to say sir and ma'am and respect their elders. Like, that's all stuff that I think our generation of parenting, I overcompensated maybe. I mean, you guys you probably have a deeper well of knowledge there than I do, but it just feels like we swung way hard to the other direction, and we didn't want anyone to ever get hurt. And, hurt is what makes you who you are. So I'm starting to see some of that come back in my kids. And my kids are actually, of course, they're in social media, but they don't see it as a solution. They just see it as a mechanism.
How old are they? How old are
well,
your
I've
kids,
got a senior in high school and then 3 in college. So they're right in that, all born right around the turn of the century. And
so they're even younger than millennials, whatever we're going to call
they're
them.
kind of like that. Right. And, but I think that's something to think about, is there's a generational shift. But I also want to say that part of what makes managing millennials really hard, and part of the reason I think they fit into a group like this, is they don't want to sit idle. They want to make an impact. And I hate to say it, but this group might just have a little bit of a marketing problem, in a sense that they're not telling the stories of how they are impactful. And, if I could encourage you to celebrate each other and your stories more, rather than the club. I don't think club really resonates with the younger generation, but hearing wisdom, hearing, stories of, having been through struggle, I think that would connect with people, because we're all kind of starved for insight. There's lots of data and very little insight right now. It's hard to know what's real, what's not real, what's all that stuff. So I think that the mission is so valid, and I think it connects with them. I mean, I'm watching older millennials quit great jobs, 6-figure jobs, because they just don't feel like they're making an impact. And I'm like, well, you're 27 and you've been there 2.5 years. So yeah, you're not. And that's okay. That's we, I think, are a little bit more okay with, breaking a few rocks before we lay down the tracks. And with these younger kids, they want to hit it. They want to run fast. They want to make an impact right away. And I think those of us that are in groups like this want to see people earn their stripes a little bit. So, I can see exactly the struggle you're having.
Yep. And I think what we heard about the fact that they don't stay very long in a Rotary Club is no different than they don't stay very long in their jobs. And many of those young folks who leave Rotary actually come back to Rotary with the new job. But it frustrates the devil out of the club that they left.
And they need mentorship. There's a vacuum of mentorship in that generation that I don't think exists in some of the older generations where they just don't know enough to know that that's really important. And I think that's what you're offering.
And the young folks don't tend to respect the retired people because they see them as grandpa rather than seeing them as a person who worked in that field and has some knowledge and skills that they could share.
Yeah, good point.
Jason,
All
this
right.
has been very helpful. Thank you for this. Yeah.
Yes, very much. Very much.
Bill,
So.
I have a question.
Paul?
This is Paul for Bill. It seems like in hearing your talk, it seems like you acknowledge that flexibility is an important factor among the millennials and maybe Generation X too. And it seems in the past few years anyways, Rotary has made a number of great steps in making the clubs more flexible and handling attendance and that kind of thing. And so wasn't the Passport Club set up to provide an alternative for Rotary membership?
Yes, and that happens to be the club. That's the club I'm in.
Okay.
I was introduced to the Laguna Sunrise Club, which I've not been in for a number of years. I am in the Passport Club because we don't meet but once a month. We do service, not for ourselves, but for any other club that wants us. So yes, it's a different variety. And the Passport Club has attracted a large number of young professionals into it, but only because it's a different type of club.
Are any of those members going on to join a regular Rotary Club after being in Passport?
You want the truth? No.
It's too bad.
The hope was they would all go into the old clubs, but they love the Passport Club so much that they're all there. Every time we have a meeting, we got the same group of people who are going. They go. Now, we had a requirement in Passport to go visit other clubs. They'd come back saying, gee, that's kind of an old staid club. It doesn't seem to have the same excitement that we have. Well, it's not exciting, but it's just a different kind of club. We have a lot of social time. We meet once a month for social at a pub, at a bar in town, just to talk about things. And we have one meeting a month, which is business. And we do service all the time.
Yeah, Bill,
Any other? Oh, go ahead. Well, Bill.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is Bill Cook, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And having spent about 10 months in Passport, and I'm older, okay, no question about it. I'm not the target age that people are encouraging to join, but I feel that Rotary is a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
As a younger working person, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the desire to get involved. I was really involved in my work. Didn't have much time for anything else. And I didn't encourage that. I was satisfied with having most of my time taken, I was working 70, 80 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a lot of time for anything else. So I probably am cut from a different mold. But when I joined Rotary, I had a history with Rotary. I knew what it was. I knew it was the doctors, the lawyers, the Indian chiefs. That's what Rotary was to me growing up. My father wasn't the least bit interested in it. He wasn't of that ilk. So he just wasn't big on joining organizations like that. He's a World War II veteran, and I think he probably felt he'd done enough for, but I found a home in Rotary, and that's, I think, what us older members want. So we have a disconnect here between the older group and the younger group, and I've got 50 really good friends. Well, down to 48 or 46 now, but yeah, it's the camaraderie that I didn't get at Passport that made me want to come back to Lincoln. And so we're looking at, really diversity here that I don't know how we meld together. Maybe we don't meld it together. Maybe we offer it two ways.
Well,
I don't know.
you've got a good point there, because a lot of the very successful clubs across America right now are young professional Rotary clubs, where the club is made up of primarily people in their 30s and 40s, not 50s and 60s and 70s. And they start out with a young professional theme, which then they hope will move people into the other clubs. Now, the Passport Club that was put together had the same idea. You know, can we get someone to start here by not attending very much, by just doing some work, and maybe they'll jump into other Rotary clubs. Well, that hasn't really done that much, but the young professional clubs, you know, it's kind of like we have in Sacramento, a 30s and 40 club, professional club. It is, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I think that's a challenge for clubs to try to make both work at the same time. And it's been difficult for most of us.
Yeah.
But thank you for your comments. Yeah.
But
All
I'm going
right.
to add just one thing, because I was really
Okay,
listening
Chris.
to Jason say, shame on us at not letting people know what Rotary is all about. And it's not about what Rotary is, it's what we're doing. And Bill just kind of hit it too, that he has found a family. We're not expressing those kinds of things to our community to let them know that, well, and some people have even said, we weren't inviting when they first came to Rotary. And why not? When we feel it's a family, we need to kind of step out of our little safe haven, and to pull them in is telling our story. Why is it home to you, Bill? Why is it mine goes way back to my father-in-law when they brought teachers to Rotary meetings and we saw all the camaraderie. And why did I become a Rotarian? Because I was one of the first women, and it was because of my father-in-law and relatives that were in Rotary. So I knew about it. So we are kind of guilty at not letting people know who and what we are, not Rotary, but who we are as people.
Yeah, very, very good. All right. Well, first I want to say thank you very much, Bill, for being here. There's a lot of good discussion. I think we can take a lot from this today. So I appreciate your time, and I know we all do. And then I think it's timely also, Clark's meeting with his membership group this afternoon. But I will say that it's incumbent upon all of us as members to do what we've been talking about here today to help attract those new members and new younger members. I want to say thank you to Jason for being here and taking the time. I hope you really consider, because it sounds like, you know, we could really use someone like you in our club. Really appreciate you being here and speaking up today. Jason mentioned something and it made me think of a quote, and it, I don't know who to contribute the quote to, but it's good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. And I will say, and I will say, experience tells me I need to get to the restroom, or things won't be pretty.
Take your iPhone with you, okay?
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here today. We had a good turnout. I appreciate that. Thank you all for being part of this, and look forward to talking more about what we learned here today and how we can use that to help our club.
And
So
I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. And this is probably the longest Zoom meeting I've had lately. So it's fun and meaningful. So thank you all very much for having me today.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Well, thank you all. Everyone have a great week, and I will see you next Thursday.
Very good.
Take care.
Yellow, did you want to talk to us on this Zoom meeting?
Say what?
I was asking Graciela if she wanted to meet on this meeting or on phone. Hello?
I don't know that she's on anymore. I think she's, oh no,
Okay.
she is. She is.
Oh.
She's just
I'm
muted.
sorry. Yeah, I was on mute. I'm so sorry. Chris, I got your email. You already replied to me. The person I needed to talk to still
Howie?
is Freema.
Okay.
Yep. Is Freema still on?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Freema.
Graciela,
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
Josh.
Graciela?
Yes.
What? I'm sorry. I just sent you an email
Okay, all right, thank you.
and I
Okay.
sent it to the client too, so the person.
Okay, okay, super. Thank you so much, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
everybody.
I'm gonna end the meeting now, guys. See you
Thank you.
See you at 4 o'clock.
Roger that.